All right, welcome, Dr. Curt. Thanks for joining us today.
Howdy, thanks for having me.
Great. And so today we're just going to do a short recording for our viewers. We want to share some information about Sisel's weight loss products. So we've had quite a few people ask, when do I use what product? What's the benefit of each product? And just helping people wrap their head a little bit around the products, so the weight loss support products. So we're going to start with our first, and I'm going to actually bring up the fact sheet for people because that might be helpful. We're going to talk about our first product here, which is the Sisel Thin, and we're also going to roll Sisel Sport in with this as well. So, if you want to talk about some of the benefits of these two products and who they're really for.
You bet. Well, here's the whole thing. Like I tried to explain to people, and I'm gonna oversimplify it. Is that your body, it grabs carbohydrates, it grabs sugars first. That's the easiest energy for it to burn, and so that's gonna be the first thing. So if you have a diet that's high in sugars and carbohydrates, that's where your energy is going to come from. You're not going to burn any fat if you're eating sugar or you're eating carbohydrates. Okay, and second. Your body, the second thing that it grabs is it grabs protein. Well, guess what? Muscle is protein. And so your body's going to burn muscle before it'll burn fat as energy. So again, for somebody who's trying to lose weight, somebody's trying to lose fat, neither one of those are good choices. And choice number 3 is you want to burn fat as energy. And it turns out, and to a lot of people, this doesn't make sense, that if you eat fat, you burn fat. So why would your body burn endogenous fat, the fat on your body, if you're getting plenty of exogenous, the fats from the outside? And the reason why is because when you're eating fats, your body produces some different chemicals. One of them is called beta hydroxybutyrate, and it's a salt that your body produces when you go into this state of ketosis. It's a metabolic state where you start burning fat as energy. And so that's what you want your body to go into, this ketosis. Well, they found out about a decade ago that if you give the body these beta hydroxybutyrates, it triggers it. It kind of hacks the system, and it gets the body to go into a fat burning mode without having to go through the whole process, because it can take sometimes months to go into ketosis for some people. So this kind of hacks the system and pushes it into a lot quicker.
Okay, great. So that's our Sisel Thin. So let's talk about the Sisel Sports, and I'm just going to flip screens here. Now, can you see the Sisel Sport there?
You bet. And so where does the Sisel Sport come in? Well, a lot of people like to work out. They like to go to the gym. They like to, do a little bit of sports at home. I don't go to the gym, but I work out here. And what Sisel Sport is, it's got a number of different ingredients like a creatinine. It's got some L-arginine. It's got some of your B vitamins. It's got some caffeine. So it's a great product to take before you work out. And what it does is it gives you that boost of energy, but it also gives you increased oxygen carrying capacity of your red blood cells. Well, if you're going to work out, isn't that important? More oxygen, more energy, right? And so that's where the Sisel Sport kind of comes in. And a lot of people just like it. I drink it sometimes just for the energy. If I find myself kind of dragging a little bit in the afternoon, I'll drink another extra Sisel Sport.
Okay, wow. So this is interesting. The product's got a little bit of vitamin C. We've got niacin in there, B6, B9, and B12. So that's a great product for people to take. So for energy. So just to recap, so the Sisel Thin is for people who want to lose fat, really. I prefer to say lose fat than lose weight, because we really don't want to lose weight. We want to lose fat and maintain our muscle. We really don't want to be dropping muscle because, it's
right.
so.
Well, and the whole thing, Katie, is this too. It's not just for fat people, right? I mean, you're lean, you keep yourself in shape. Wouldn't it be nice to keep your body in that fat burning mode for the rest of your life? And then that way you don't have to worry about putting those extra pounds on. So once I get down to my goal weight, when I lose that next 45 pounds, you're dang right, I'm going to keep taking this product for the rest of my life. I might not take 4 pills a day. I might just go back to 2 pills a day. Whatever helps me keep my body into that ketogenic state.
Right, fantastic. Okay. And then, the Sizzle Sport is for the energy boost, and it also does it help with the fat burning as well, Dr. Curt?
You bet, because what it does, it's got some thermogenic properties, and so it's gonna bring that into play. But it also has the extra oxygen carrying capacity. And I mean, if you're trying to start a campfire, you get a fan blowing on the fire, you get a little breeze blowing by, and that's going to make the fire so it burns hotter. Well, that's the same thing here. If you're carrying more oxygen to the fire, it's going to make it so it burns the fat better.
Right, fantastic. All right, so we've got those two products, and now we just want to also touch on Sizzle Fire and Ice, because this is really part of our weight loss support range as well. So we had someone asking recently, could they take the Sizzle Sport as well as the Fire and Ice? And so what would you say to someone about that?
Well, I had somebody ask me that just the other day. I think it was about 3 days ago, and here's what I said: is that when you take a look at the Sizzle Sport, it's got 178 milligrams of caffeine in it. You look at the Sizzle Fire and Ice, and I think it's got about equal amount of caffeine, somewhere in that 175 to 200 milligram range. And so I definitely wouldn't take the two together. I wouldn't take them back to back.
No.
And you're going to have to kind of play with it. I mean, you might end up with a little bit of some of that tachycardia where you notice your heart rate going up. But the other thing that you might notice is that when you're taking caffeine, a little bit is good, but a lot can be too much. And what it does is that caffeine kind of has that effect that when you get too much, it actually works in reverse. So instead of giving you energy, it kind of sucks the energy out of you. So, if you want to do both, play with it a little bit. Your system better than anybody else.
Right, exactly. And so obviously both have different flavors. So we've got the Sizzle Sport has the pink lemonade flavor. The Fire and Ice has a pomegranate flavor. We've got some slightly different ingredients in there, and the Fire and Ice does have a wider range of the B vitamins. So, some people might prefer the Fire and Ice, Dr. Curt, over the Sizzle Sport, or vice versa.
You bet.
Okay. Great. So we've got those. So the Fire and Ice will further help fat burning as well and help with energy. So, and that, obviously is going to feed into supporting someone's weight loss journey. So let's talk about these next two products here. I'm just going to bring the fact sheet. So we're going to talk about now the Sizzle Lean, and we'll talk about the chocolate, and the Sizzle Rip. So you want to say a few things about these two products and how these, what these are actually going to do for people?
Well, I'll tell you, meal replacements, awesome things, because if you're trying to keep yourself lean, you don't need to have a big heavy meal. You don't need to be eating a lot of extra food, and so the Sizzle Lean is a great choice. It's made with a specially formulated type of protein, which is undenatured. And what that means is that when you denature a protein, you're overcooking it. You're changing the molecular structure of the protein itself. And undenatured means that doesn't happen. And so we're using undenatured whey protein. And they found that when they do that, it actually triggers the body to build lean muscle, where if you look at most meal replacement products that are on the market, they actually cause the body to burn lean muscle. And so as people are using it as a weight loss product, they're finding that they're losing their muscle, where with ours, with this sizzling, we're actually gaining muscle at the same time that we're losing weight, that we're losing fat. It's got some fiber, some extra fiber, and as you know, Katie, we need to have more fiber. Most people, they show that, I think it's like close to 80% of people
95.
don't get enough fiber in their diet. How much is it?
95% of Americans.
95% of Americans don't get enough fiber. So there you go. I mean, another reason to do the Sizzle Lean.
Yeah, excellent. So the Sizzle Lean is there for the support weight loss, so fat loss, but more importantly, it's mainly is focused on also maintaining that muscle, which is slightly different to our Sizzle Thin, because the Sizzle Thin is just targeting fat loss, whereas this is by reducing the calorie intake and also giving you that protein to support muscle building and maintenance. You're sort of doing those two in a different way than the Sizzle Thin. Is that right?
That's right. Okay. And they all work together. The whole thing you just got to remember, is that when you're burning fat as energy, right? You need to have that fiber, because that fiber helps to mobilize the fat, make it so your body can get it out of the system.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And I love this product too because it's got some key vitamins and minerals in there, and it has got that 6 grams of fiber, which is fantastic.
Plus, it
Okay.
tastes good. That's
Yeah.
one of the main things I like about it is that not only is it low in sugar and it's high in fiber and it helps with that special formulation of the protein, but it tastes good. It's
Yeah.
not hard to get somebody to use something when it tastes good.
Yeah, fantastic. And so the Sisel lean comes in the chocolate and the vanilla. The vanilla is about 15 calories less than the chocolate, but still very low calorie meal replacement, which is fantastic. And in fact, I use this product. The other products weren't out at the time, but when I was doing my fitness competition and I had to get my body fat low for stage, this product along with the Fire and Ice was amazing support for me. And I actually found it made it easy for me to reach that goal. So let's finish off here with the Sisel Rip. So Sisel
Yeah.
Rip, do you want to say a little bit about this product?
Yeah, I mean, Katie, this is one of my favorite products. It's right up in the top, and I'll tell you why. I started going to these anti-aging seminars and learning about anti-aging about 25 years ago, and one of the things they start talking about is they realize that the older you get, the more muscle that you start to lose. So you start to lose, I think it was like 10% per decade is what they showed. You start to lose that muscle mass. And by the time you get into your 80s, you've lost so much of your main muscle mass that your brain thinks that you're dying, and it makes it so that you start going into dementia. You start to have some other health issues because of it. So 25, I think almost $30 million now has been spent on research, and they discovered that with the branched chain amino acids, you could reverse that. You could make the body realize that, hey, we're not dying, we're still living. And that's what this product was really designed off of. And then they discovered that because it was doing that, it also helped the body build new lean muscle without having to go to the gym. So we've got the Sisel Sport, which is a pre-workout. We got the Sisel Rip, which is a post-workout, and they work great together.
Yeah, great. And so really focused on, muscle building with this product. And I heard that, the product was designed around trying to help young children in hospital beds who had been suffering from burns and as a result obviously weren't moving much. And when you don't move, you lose your muscle mass. So the old saying, use it or lose it, really applies. And so there was a lot of concern around that, and that's how this formula got developed. And so my understanding, Dr. Curt, and correct me if I'm wrong, it contains the perfect ratios of the amino acids for maximum absorption, because all proteins contain amino acids and can contain all the branched chain amino acids, but putting them in the right ratios is really key for this product, isn't it?
That's right. Yep, having all those amino acids, the branched chain amino acids, into proper ratios is ultimately important. Yeah.
Okay, great. All right, well, I think we'll leave it there. So just wanted to cover off those products. So we've talked about the Sisel Thin and Sisel Sport today. We've talked about Fire and Ice and Sisel Lean, as well as the Sisel Rip. So on that note, Dr. Curt, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go off and do some exercise, and then I'm going to have a couple of Sisel Rip.
You bet. That's the way to do it.
All right, great. Well, thanks for joining us today. Hopefully this is helpful to everyone watching, and we'll catch you next time.
All right. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you. Thanks.